they're like, what? No, you don't need any of that. I'm just like, oh my God, somebody medicate me. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan and I am documenting my 2018 pregnancy. Today I am filming my 17 weeks pregnant update. Today I am 17 weeks and 1 day pregnant. Yay! And I have quite a bit of things to talk about, but I have a goal to keep this video short, so I'm gonna try to be quick. We've got like a whole range of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good is I am definitely feeling fetal movement. I have been feeling it every day since I was about 16 plus 1. And on 16 plus 3, the baby was kicking hard enough to the point where my husband was able to feel it from the outside. I was laying down flat, I had a full bladder, and he did have to press pretty hard on my lower abdomen, but he felt it. So baby is doing well and kicking away. I have noticed that I have still a lot of nipple soreness and tenderness, which I didn't have at all in the first trimester. It actually started coming on around 14 to 15 weeks in pregnancy, and it's not comfortable, and I'm really wondering when it's going to go away. I have no idea. I have noticed that my nails are growing so long and they are so strong. So I've had to cut my nails a lot, but I kept one just to show on this video. This one nail, this is 9 days of growth. Only 9 days. I cut it all the way to, I keep my nails short because I play guitar. So this is how long it got in 9 days. So it's pretty crazy. I can no longer lay backward, like recline, unsupported. It causes quite a bit of abdominal discomfort for me. I feel like I have a small melon in my belly, to be honest. And when I flex my abs, when I'm like leaning back like this, I feel them contract onto my uterus, and it has become quite uncomfortable. So now anytime I want to lay down or sit up, I have to do it going down onto my side first and not going directly back or sitting directly forward. Let's see, what else do I have going on? Oh, diet and exercise. So that has been sort of a big theme for me these past several weeks. I have talked in the past about how I felt like I had gained too much weight at the end of my first trimester than I should have. I've done a little bit of reading, and it seems like every online calculator or website has a different recommendation of how much weight you should be gaining at each stage in pregnancy. So at this point, I don't even think I'm going to worry about it at all, because from the source that I had originally looked at, I had gained twice as much weight as I should have by the time I was 13 weeks. And I had gained quite a bit of weight. They said that you should really gain like 0 to only a couple pounds in your first trimester. And I had gained 3.2 kilograms, I think is what I had gained by the time I was 13 weeks pregnant, which was a lot, especially when I compare it to my last pregnancy where I was still down. I was like negative weight by the time I had started my second trimester, just because I didn't feel as well in my first trimester then as I did this time. So I kind of cracked down. I did this whole 30-day fitness challenge. I cleaned up my diet. I started making lots of really good decisions, and I am happy to report that I now weigh 70.4 kilograms, which means I have only gained like half a kilogram thereabouts since I was 13 weeks pregnant. So I now, at least according to the first source I was looking at, I am now exactly where I should be to be on track to gain approximately 30 pounds in this pregnancy. Who knows what's going to happen in the end? Like with my daughter, I ended up gaining, I think, the full 35 pounds by the time I delivered her on her due date. And I had started the second trimester down several pounds, and this time I'm up several pounds. So who knows? Who knows what's actually going to happen? But I think the point is to stay active and to eat a balanced diet and just make good decisions the majority of the time. So that is the way that I am living my life. I continue to have my green smoothies for breakfast or lunch every day. We've been home cooking our dinners, and I've been following my policy of like no juice, no soda, no goodies or anything in the house. I only have healthy treats like bananas and peanut butter, apples and cheese, things like that. And I have my one cheat day a week. So whatever that is, it is what I allow myself to have. We homemade pizza, and we made a homemade chocolate cake last Saturday for our cheat day, and it was wonderful. My workouts have been great. My energy levels have been good. Sleep has been crap lately. I'm just not comfortable. So I finally caved in. I don't know why I didn't do this in my first pregnancy. I feel like in my first pregnancy I was so stingy. I didn't buy maternity clothes. I wouldn't buy a maternity pillow. I didn't buy like postpartum recovery stuff. I was so DIY and, oh, I can do without it, or, you know, I can just use a pill, just a regular pillow instead of a pregnancy pillow. I made myself just deal with it in my last pregnancy, and I am not about that this time. I am all about every single creature comfort I can get my hands on, which is ironic because if I had just bought these things in my last pregnancy, I would have had them for both. And now I'm buying everything now, and this is my last baby. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this stuff, but whatever. So anyway, I went on Amazon and I looked up pregnancy pillows. Mind you, I live in Europe, so I was on Amazon UK, and I came across this one pillow that was like Amazon Choice, and it was their bestseller, and it had like 530 reviews with like 4.5 stars, and I read a bunch of the reviews, and it seems really good. So I bought it. It's called the Sanggol, Sanggol maternity pillow. It's one of those big, giant U-shaped ones that you can like fold around and do all kinds of things with and use it as a breastfeeding pillow and stuff. So I bought one of those. In my last video, I had talked about this Mama Stret postpartum girdle, and I decided, what the heck, I'm just, you know, feeling trigger happy. So I bought that as well, and it has already arrived. And I tried it on. I will say that in my normal life, I wear a small to medium top, and I tend to wear medium to large sized bottoms, depending on what it is, because I'm high-waisted and I have a little bit bigger hips than maybe someone my normal frame might have. And so I wasn't quite sure what size to get, so I bought a large, thinking that how I look now more or less is probably what I'm gonna look like once I'm postpartum, although I'll probably be quite a bit bigger. And I tried it on. I bought the large Mama Strut, and it is pretty snug already. So I'm probably gonna need to buy their, they have these extenders that you can get to give yourself a little bit more room as you shrink down. So I'm probably gonna need to buy those, but the girdle itself, I should probably go get it, or maybe I'll do another video and just do a review. It offers like a lot of compression in your whole core, like from your hips all the way up to like your abs and all the way up basically to your diaphragm. I really like it. I think it's going to do me a lot of good after I have baby and my pelvis is still so wobbly and my abs are weak and loose. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try. So I bought that as well. Now to get to what I mentioned in the title of this video, I had two pretty gnarly things happen over the course of the last week that are setting the stage for what is going to happen in the next few weeks to months. So the first is that on Friday, a week ago, so I was 16 plus 1, I realized I had my first tick bite. And I live in a country that has Lyme disease as well as tick-borne encephalitis. Yay! So I was calling doctors, like, what should I do? I was Googling, and they're like, oh, well, you know, if you're pregnant, you should prophylactically take antibiotics. So I'm calling my doctors, and I'm like, you need to get me on antibiotics in case I have Borrelia now. And they're like, what? No, you don't need any of that. And I'm just like, oh my God, somebody medicate me. So I haven't taken anything, and I have, my tick bite is here. Oh, where? Let's see, that's a bug bite. My tick bite is... Oh, you can't even see it, actually. I don't even know where it is. Oh, that's good. I can't even see it. It's been a week now, and they told me that after 2 weeks, I need to keep an eye out to see if I see that bullseye red ring around it. And then if I see that, then I go in for antibiotics because it means I've contracted Lyme or something. I don't know. So that's been fun. But that happened at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then 11 o'clock the same freaking day, I started to spot, you guys. And like, it wasn't a lot, but it was every time I wiped, there was brown blood, like brown spotting on my toilet paper. And this is the first time I have seen anything of this nature at all in this pregnancy. So it was really worrisome to me. And then it started to pick up throughout the day. And on top of all of everything else, I've started to feel some Braxton Hicks contractions. And I don't know if they're actually like real Braxton Hicks or if it's because I am dehydrated. Because it is so hot here right now. We're having a 260-year record-breaking heat wave here. So anyway, but I had been feeling those contractions, and then the spotting sort of started to turn a little bit darker, had sort of a rusty color to it. So I called the hospital that night and I told them what was going on, and they're like, look, it doesn't sound dangerous at all. Like, you really don't worry about it. Just rest. If it gets any worse or if it turns to actual real blood or you're starting to get really severe pains, call us. And none of that happened. So the next day, on Saturday, I carried about my normal day, and the spotting came back, and it never turned red. It was always brown, but it just got more and more and more. And then at around 5:30 or 6 p.m., I went to the bathroom. I had to do a bowel movement as part of my bathroom activities. And so, and I've been dealing with constipation a little bit lately, and so I did have to strain a little bit. And so when I wiped my front parts, it just was like, it was so much brown blood, so much. And on top of that, there were these little tiny clots and like strands of tissue and everything. And I was like, oh, this is not good. So between that and feeling the Braxton Hicks, I'm just like, you know, I can't wait until Monday. It was Saturday evening, and I needed to go in. I needed to be seen. I needed some reassurance. I was feeling baby move, so I wasn't too concerned about the baby, but I didn't know what else was going on. So I went in, they did an abdominal ultrasound, everything looked fine, baby had a heartbeat, the placenta looked fine, there were no bleeds around it. Then she did a visual cervical check. She said my cervix looked fine, there was no trauma to it. And then she did a transvaginal, and that's when I found out that 2 centimeters of my placenta is laying over my cervix right now. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means just 2 centimeters of the tip of my placenta is just there, or if like my whole placenta is covering it and it's 2 centimeters thick. I don't know. I didn't get any answers. I asked her if this meant I needed to be on any kind of pelvic rest, and she said absolutely not. Continue about your life as usual. I asked her about working out. She said carry on as you always do. Just try to keep your heart rate below 150. Don't do super deep dish squats to the point where like your butt is touching the ground, which I can't do anyway because my knees are just wrecked at this point in my life. And she told me don't do any contact sports. So she said sex was fine. She said everything else was fine. Just, you know, if I continue to spot, just take it easier, wait for it to go away, whatever. And then she told me that at my anatomy scan, they will look at it further. And if I continue to have some sort of coverage, they'll schedule another ultrasound between 28 and 32 weeks, and hopefully it will have resolved itself by then. from my reading, it sounds like placenta previa is very, very rare at the end of pregnancy. Like it happens in the beginnings and even in the second trimester, but almost always it resolves itself later on. And I posted about this on my Instagram page, and some like random ultrasound tech commented, and she's like, you know what, if you're before 20 weeks, we don't even call it placenta previa because it tends to resolve itself, you know, by the time you're halfway through. So I have 3 weeks to go until I'm 20 weeks. I have exactly 2 weeks to go. Actually, I take that back. I have 1 week and 6 days to go before my anatomy scan. So hopefully this sucker continues to migrate north and is out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it, because I just don't want to have to stress about the idea of a mandatory C-section and things like that. But that is the ugly of this past week. It's been the tick bite and it's been this placenta previa scare, but I'm putting it out of my mind. I haven't really had any more additional spotting. I actually don't think I've had any at all since that incident, and yeah, I'm just carrying on with my life. So we will show the baby bump. Oy! But forgive me, I gotta pull up my pants because they're a little low rising. But this is my 17 weeks baby belly. I just don't have much to show. It's just not much, and when I flex, it's still, you know, I can still pretty much look like my normal self with I guess I have this little bit of a bump. And then if I like let it hang out, you know, like really stick it out, that's how big it is. But this is how I normally stand, and this is my little 17 weeks pregnant baby bump with baby number 2. It always looks more round in the front, I feel like. You can kind of like see that definition here, but from the profile, I don't know, I don't have much to show right now. But that is my update for 17 weeks, and next week it's going to be a whole lot of boring, but I'm going to talk about maybe our gender reveal plans, and then the following week I will have my anatomy scan details, my 19 weeks update, and footage from our gender reveal. So if you're interested in that, like and subscribe below, and if not, I will just see you all again next time. Okay, bye!